Hello everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and this is going to be another gear review and actually comparison of two Sena Bluetooth headsets that are very common. The first one is the SMH10 and then also the 10s. It does not have the SMH anymore on there, it's just simply 10s, kind of in line with their newer 20s product. Now when you look at these units, both of these basically are almost the same. When you look at the back mounting, you'll see that they both have very similar shapes, and they both have the same pins and everything like that, and due to that you can actually use the same brackets on the helmet to go ahead and attach those two. The difference is the SMH10s, or the SMH10 does not have as good of speakers as the 10s version does. They're not as crisp or not as clear. This one has better speaker mounts and everything like that, and also completely different between these two on what you attach to them. So the speaker actual plugins and everything are completely different and not compatible with each other in terms of your helmet dock. You know, you can't cross-compatible those, but you can cross-compatible just the head unit itself, what you clip on and what you clip off. Some of the bigger differences is that the 10s here is actually Bluetooth 4.1, brings it more in line with the 20s. Battery life, though, is exactly the same. They both are 12 hours of talk time, 10 days of standby time. Whenever you're actually charging it, this one does charge a little bit faster. It's 2.5 hour charge time. This one's 3, so there is a little bit different, but both of them use the same style of lithium polymer battery. Another thing, though, that really separates the 10s versus the SMH10 is this one does have built-in FM radio. So this one can do that between 76 and 108 megahertz. So you get a lot more functionality out of the 10s unit versus the SMH10. Now, the 10 does have the older Bluetooth 3.0. It does have good noise cancellation, and does very good. You can do several different things with it for riders, share the music between the riders, things like that, as long as you're Bluetoothing from phone, all that good stuff. The 10s does that as well for a longer range, 180 yards for the SMH10 and 1 mile for the 10s. So both of them, though, are very similar. The 10s is more designed to look like its 20s counterpart. The jog dial's been changed to look like it, and doesn't quite look like the older, more larger 10 unit. And as you can see, they are quite a bit different in terms of how much wider this one is versus the 10s. Another thing that you'll notice is that although SMH10 and 10s units are water resistant, it's mostly if something does happen where you're in torrential rain long enough, it has this fail-safe mode that if something touches the pins, it shuts it down until it dries out. But in making the unit a little bit more water resistant, Sena did a better job at placing the charge port. And you can see here on the old SMH10, it's on top right here, covered by a little gasket. But as you can see, this one is wearing, so you can see a little gap starting to form there. So it's because it's been used quite a bit. Whoop, didn't mean to drop it, but you know, it's one of those things where that was kind of a terrible thing, because when it's sitting on there, rain will start coming through with air, get under that bubble, and possibly hurt the unit. With the 10s, they redesigned that and actually stuck that charge port on the bottom and made it a little bit different design where it's not as susceptible to water as the 10 unit is, or the SMH10 unit is. But still really the same general functionality between the two there. When you look at it, both of them, you do turn them on the same way, where you touch the back phone button and the communicator button, like so. They both do the same indications. So, these two actually have been paired together for intercom use and stuff like that, so they will talk to each other. But you can see that they do function the same way. They have the same style of LED, just slightly different position. When you turn it on, it does the same battery check, the same startup sequence where it pairs and tells you it's pairing and everything like that. Voice and everything is the same, and basically they both run the same. So let's take a look at how they look on the helmets themselves. Using my old Bell qualifier here that I still use for motovlogging, you'll see that it does have the port actually built into the helmet. And like I said, this dock here is compatible with the 10s right here. You see it just clips in like that. They are pretty much the same mounting plate on the back, but you also can put on the original SMH10, which is what it was designed for. Clips in just that simple. So that's how it actually works there. And then like I said, this one is just strictly Bluetooth communication and Bluetooth to phone. So like I said, you turn it on and let's see if they can hear a little bit of it.
Hello.
Try to turn up as best I can. That's what that beep is.
Phone connected.
Okay, so that's what it sounds like when that one comes on. Like I said, it's just strictly for Bluetooth and things like that. So if I'm to use it, they just tap the phone button and maybe ask my phone to play some music and things like that. But due to copyright, I will not do that at this time. So,
goodbye.
Go ahead and turn that one off there. And then for the 10s, what I'm doing for it right now is that it is on the new HJC helmet, as you saw in the review. And I'll kind of show that. Both of these plates have that rubber grommet right there that tries to protect those pins. Like I said, water resistant. If water does get down in there, it can, you know, go into a safe mode, basically shut itself off until it dries. So that's what that one does. Just clips right there. This is sticky mounted with 3M foam tape, and that way it sticks to the helmet instead of the other one, which is actually clamped in with a plastic clamp that goes into the side there. Now both of these units, you'll see here, have a spot for, pull that open, earbuds for this one, as you can see, and this is on their base plate. The one for the integrated does not have that earbud capability there. And then on the back, there's an auxiliary right on the back side of there. So both of these have that ability if you're using the stock base plate. The one thing that both of them does have is this right here, where it hangs down just a little bit below around the neck curtain area and on the edge of the helmet here. This can be a little bit annoying when you're riding, because some jackets have a protrusion up here, like maybe the vent comes up there or something, and this can get caught when you're doing head checks and stuff when you're passing. So that's about the only downfall I see to these Sena units, except for the one that's built in and integrated. But when you're actually installing it to the helmet like that, you can get that little bit of problem. I'll go ahead and turn this one on here. Stick that in there.
Hello.
And if you can tell, there is a little bit louder
Phone connected.
sound from this one. It's probably not going to be catchable by these action cams, but you know, it's the best they can. But it does, like I said, it does have the built-in FM radio.
FM on 96.9. Goodbye.
And I'll leave it at that. So that's the cool part about the 10s, is that it does give you that ability to have the FM radio. Sounds real good going down the line. Just make sure whenever you're putting that in your helmet, whenever you're routing the cord, and I don't want to take it all apart because I don't want it to fall out, make sure that your right side speaker, the wire goes up and over to that on the top of here, because that is the FM antenna. So if you can make that as long as possible and give it the best line of sight, you're going to get the best available signal. So setting these up, you know, definitely easy to do. These are some of the simplest ones to set up and use. I've used Blink Technologies before, I've used Chatterbox before, but Sena is definitely the best out of all of them. So when it comes down to it, the prices on these, you're looking at around, for a single unit, about $220 for the 10s. So I've seen them that high. Some of them I've seen as low as $200. Depending on where you go, Amazon of course can get you a better deal sometimes, and that's for the single unit. You can buy them in a dual pack. The older SMH10 is still on the market right now, but it is basically being closed out. And I've seen some pretty good deals for the old SMH10 running around, where you'll see those going for like $100 or for the dual pack maybe $250, something like that. So you can still find those. If you do find the SMH10, I mean, it's still a great unit. Don't get me wrong. It's going to get you a good package for Bluetooth and communication. If you're in a small riding group of 4 guys, you should be able to stay within the 900 yards together. If you do outrun each other, then you can get a little bit of that distortion and things like that. But it's still a very, very good unit. So if you can find one, you're not going to miss out and terribly, unless you really desperately want the FM radio capability and the right at 1 mile range. But you're with 4 guys. I mean, right at 1 mile is not necessarily needed, and I actually haven't been able to use it because most of my friends are still using this unit versus the 10s right now. So I'm only able to use it as far as these are capable. But I could tell you that they both work really well. The noise cancellation is very good. Both of these earn the right to be on your helmet in one way or the other, so I'm going to recommend them both. Now, the one thing the 20s can do that these cannot do, basically, the voice command where you double tap it or say hello Sena, and it comes on and does that, and also doesn't have the multiple throughput, basically, where if you're in intercom mode, it will not work with your phone if it's giving you GPS navigation or things like that. So remember that with the SMH10 and 10s, both of them are not capable of doing that. But they're both still very solid units, very good units to take out on a motorcycle. Very well worth the money to purchase them. They are cross-compatible with different companies. There's a slightly different pairing sequence between a different company's unit and the Sena unit, but they work very well together. I've used them with, like I said, some Blink technologies and stuff, and work very well. So overall, great package to have. If you've never had a Bluetooth enabled helmet, these are the best way to get in there. It's from Sena. Definitely, like I said, I've used Chatterbox, I've used Blink, and I've used Scala one time. That was a friend's I borrowed, so because I was looking for a good product to play with. But definitely recommend the SMH10 and the 10s unit. Both of them are very good. It just depends on your preference. If you just want something simple that can get you the Bluetooth where you can talk on the phone, listen to the music on your phone, things like that, or if you want the flat out package with the FM radio and things like that. At any rate, this is the Rabid Hedgehog. If you have any more questions about the Sena 10 or SMH10 and 10s, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer all the questions that I can. Once again, I just want to make sure to let you know that this is not a paid endorsement. This is just the products that I use and I recommend from just riding around all these years and finding out on my own. At any rate, keep the shiny side up. We'll catch you on the next review.